Hi guys, the 2025-2026 season is officially over, and I thought to make a video of some of the summer signings who have failed to deliver on the promise and the hype expected of them in their debut season. Below are my 10 Premier League flop transfers of the season just concluded in no particular order. Let's go. The first name on my list is Liverpool's Jeremie Frimpong. I watched Frimpong at Bayer Leverkusen and thought, yeah, he's very quick, but he isn't a very intelligent defender. I wasn't expecting him to flop this hard. Liverpool replaced Trent Alexander-Arnold, who wasn't a great defender, but an excellent attacking weapon, with a player who is a liability both in attack and in defense. They spent 40 million euros and they already need an upgrade. Sad. Number 2, Anthony Elanga of Newcastle. The Magpies already had Harvey Barnes and Anthony Gordon on their books, but decided that they needed more runners and opted to recruit Anthony Junior Elanga from Nottingham Forest for the grand sum of 61 million euros. Their return thus far for their investment is 1 goal contribution in the league. So far, it's not really looking good. Number 3 is Burnley's Armando Broja. When a smallish club like Burnley shells out 24 million euros for a striker, they absolutely need that gamble to pay off. Sadly for Burnley, all they've gotten this season from that investment was 2 goal contributions in 24 Premier League appearances. I honestly used to think that Broja was a decent player at Chelsea, but I've since changed my mind. Maybe he will find his true level in the Championship, but the Premier League is definitely beyond his level at the moment. Number 4 on this list is Chelsea's Jamie Gittens. The Blues somehow convinced Arsenal to part with 56 million euros of their money to sign Noni Madueke, and they took all of that money and gave it to Borussia Dortmund for Jamie Gittens. It's honestly unbelievable how raw and undercooked he looks at this level. He has 2 league assists, so at least that's better than Elanga. Every time I've seen him play, he always seems to have this confused look on his face, and I always feel sad for him. He's just another one of Chelsea's long list of weird transfer signings that they seem to make every season. Number 5 on this list is Chelsea's Alejandro Garnacho. The Blues have 3 left wingers on their books. 2 of them feature on this list, and the last one is currently suspended for doping allegations. Garnacho is very, very hard to miss, with his bleached blonde hair, a very obvious neck tattoo, and the confidence of the Greek god Apollo. The only thing absent from his persona is the talent to go with it. Chelsea forked out 46 million euros for this guy, and all they've gotten in return is 1 goal and 4 assists in the league. But the good thing for Garnacho is that regardless of how the rest of his career turns out, he will always have that super goal from 2024 against Everton. So I guess that's enough. At number 6 on my list is Manchester City midfielder Tijjani Reijnders. Tijjani scored in his first league game and promptly tweeted Season 1 Episode 1 like it was the start of an all-timer series of performances. Since then, he's only given us 5 goal contributions in the league. My beef with Tijjani is that when he's not scoring, he doesn't do much else. He can't be bothered with all that passing, running, and tackling stuff that you normally associate with midfielders. He was Serie A midfielder of the season for the season 24-25, but then I've seen McTominay dominate that league, so it makes a lot of sense. Tijjani only started 3 of the Manchester City's final 14 league games, as Pep defaulted to more reliable players once it was time to lock in for the run-in. Also, did you know that he was named after a Nigerian footballer? Yes, he's named after former Ajax winger Tijjani Babangida. Number 7 on my list is Newcastle's Wissa. In the summer of 2025, Wissa essentially went on strike to force a move to Newcastle United. Begrudgingly, Brentford agreed to let him leave for 57 million euros. Newcastle got the very short end of this stick, with a very lengthy injury in the beginning and a string of dismal performances since his return, emphasized by the grand return of 2 goal contributions. I can't help but feel sorry for Alan Shearer and his legendary number 9 shirt. Number 8 on my list is Tottenham's Xavi Simons. With injuries to Kulusevski and Maddison in summer 2025, Spurs needed creativity going into the new season. Unable to land Morgan Gibbs-White and Eberechi Eze, they pivoted to boy wonder and Bundesliga sensation Xavi Simons for 65 million euros. What have they gotten in return? 7 league goal contributions. In his unveiling video, in an attempt to shade their North London rivals Arsenal, who beat them to easy signing, they introduced Simmons with the same welcome message, let it all work out. Has it worked out? No, I don't think so. They were one wrong result away from relegation. Also, the thing about Simmons is, why does he always look like he's about to cry whenever he gets fouled? I don't know. The penultimate name on my list is Newcastle's Nick Woltemade. Newcastle has 3 players on this list, and I felt conflicted including the 6'6" German striker. He started the season like a man on a mission, with 5 goals in his first 10 league games, and everybody was like, yeah, who nicks Alexander Isak? The problem is the fire ran out of gas, and with only 1 goal in Newcastle's last 20 league games. Manager Eddie Howe is part of his problem because he somehow convinced himself that a 6'6" lanky striker is a viable option in midfield. At the moment, that 75 million euros doesn't look like money well spent. The last and final name on my list is Liverpool's Florian Wirtz. I know I said at the beginning of this recording that I was going to do this in no particular order, but this has to be the flop of the season. When you play a British transfer record fee of 125 million euros, you are not paying for potential, you are paying for immediate return. You are paying for a bona fide game changer. Wirtz is supposed to be the icing on a great Liverpool cake, a luxury player in a very fluid team. Instead, he's looked really average in his first season, even though he has 9 goal contributions. Going forward, Liverpool look clueless in a lot of games, in part because their marquee signing was very underwhelming. Iraola has a lot of work to do to get his key midfield man up to scratch. To round up, 5 of the 10 players on this list came directly from the German Bundesliga. Make of that whatever you will. Honorable mentions to Alexander Isak of Liverpool, Tolu Arokudare of Wolves, Liam Delap of Chelsea, and Victor Gyökeres of Arsenal. Gyökeres only narrowly misses out on this list because Arsenal won the Premier League. Thanks for listening, and let me know if you disagree with any of the players on my list or if there's someone you think I missed out on. In my next videos, I'll be picking a few select big clubs across Europe and the gaps in their squad that I think they should be looking to fill in this summer's transfer window. Thanks for watching, and do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye for now.